Hey guys, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever had a crypto project you believed in, but the price just wouldn't move? You see all the news, you read all the announcements, you watch a million videos, and you're just sitting there day after day, wondering when the payoff is coming. I feel you, I've been there, I know so many people who have been there. It's like being a fan of a college football team that you know is the best in the country, but the rest of the world just isn't watching the games yet, and you're just screaming at your TV, pay attention, this is the future. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. I want to tell you a story about a guy named Mike. Mike's an average guy from Ohio. He works hard, he saves his money, and he got into crypto a few years ago. He watched all the big projects pump, but he got tired of the constant hype cycles and scams. He started looking for something real, something with substance. He found Hedera HBAR. He saw the utility, the enterprise partnerships, the low fees. He felt like he had finally found a winner. But then for months, the price just sat there. And every day he'd feel this pit in his stomach, wondering, did I make a mistake? He was just about to give up. He felt completely wrecked. He was ready to throw in the towel. But then something happened, something that gave him a glimmer of hope. He saw a headline that promised an answer to his huge problem. And that's what we're talking about today, because the journey Mike is on is the same one you're on. And I'm going to show you what he found. And trust me, it's going to shock you. You've probably heard me say it before, but Hedera is not playing the same game as other projects. While everyone else is focused on meme coins and empty promises, HBAR and the team behind it have been quietly building the pipes and wires for the new global financial system. And the institutional engagement they've been working on around tokenization, around DeFi, around payments is finally starting to show up where it matters most: the price chart. Stick with me, because I'm going to show you the 3 biggest clues that Mike and I have found that prove HBAR is now primed for a massive price breakout. This isn't just a hunch, this is a fact. And if you're a crypto holder, you need to see this to understand what's coming. I promise you'll leave this video smarter and more confident than you started. So let's get back to Mike. Like I said, he was feeling pretty defeated. He'd been burned by so many other projects, and he was tired of the emotional roller coaster. He was a smart guy. He didn't fall for the dog coins or the cat coins. He did his homework. He knew about HBAR's unique ABFT security mechanism, the one that makes it arguably the most secure and reliable network out there. He knew about its incredible scalability and the near narrow transaction fees that make it perfect for real-world use. He understood that Hedera Hashgraph was built to handle the demands of the world's biggest companies. He saw all the top-tier governing council members, the same kind of big-name corporations that run the world. But still, the price didn't move. He'd open his portfolio and just see red. It felt like the market was playing a cruel joke on him. Have you ever felt that way, where you feel like you've done everything right, but you're just not getting the reward you know you deserve? It's frustrating. It's demoralizing. It's a feeling of being trapped. You know the potential is there, but you're stuck waiting, while other people are making money on projects with no real utility. This is the new problem, the problem of patience in a market designed to test it. Mike was about to face the real-world consequence of a lack of patience, which is selling low right before a massive pump. But thankfully, he didn't. He looked for one last clue, and what he saw changed everything. He pulled up the Hedera HBAR price chart, and he saw something that gave him a jolt of hope. The price was up, not a lot, but a steady rise, up almost 11% in the last 7 days. He was used to seeing it down, so this was a positive sign. But he also saw that for the last month, the price was still down a little bit, around 3.5%. This told him he was catching it right at the beginning of a potential reversal. He was getting a discount before the market fully woke up. This is a crucial lesson for every investor. You don't want to buy when everyone is screaming about a pump. You want to buy when a pump is being born. But Mike was still cautious. He remembered the past. He zoomed in on the daily chart and he saw a pattern that had haunted him before. He saw a series of fake outs. You know what I'm talking about, right? A couple times over the last few months, HBAR would wick above that upper trend line, giving everyone a flash of hope, only to fall back down. It happened back in July. It happened a couple of times before that too. Each time it felt like a betrayal, a sign that the market wasn't ready to let HBAR break free. That's a dreadful feeling. The hope of a breakout followed by the crushing disappointment of a fake out. But this time felt different. The price wasn't just wicking above the line, it was actually breaking out and holding its position. Mike knew that he needed more confirmation, but this was the first real sign that something was fundamentally different this time around. This wasn't just a quick pump, this was a sustained move, a new direction. It's like when you're driving on a country road and you see a small, almost unnoticeable sign that says highway ahead. It's a quiet promise of faster travel and a bigger destination. The breakout on the daily chart was the first clue. It was a sign that the road to our next destination and a potential Hedera Hashgraph price prediction of a major pump was finally being paved. So here's my question to you. Have you felt that same frustration as Mike? Have you been holding on to a project you believe in only to be tested by fake outs and market silence? I want to know your story. What's a project you've been a long-term believer in that is just starting to show its true colors? Tell me your story in the comments below. I'll read every single one because we're all in this together and it's a journey that takes patience and conviction. And if you're feeling that frustration, I promise you what's coming next is going to make you feel like you just got a backstage pass to the biggest show on earth. Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you is the second clue that proves the HBAR price is about to leave the fake outs behind for good. Mike was still on the fence. He saw the chart, he saw the price breaking out, but his past experience left him with a lingering fear. He knew the charts could be deceiving. He's seen projects with perfect looking charts that ended up being just another scammed story. He needed more. He needed to know that this wasn't just a technical fluke. He needed fundamental, real world proof. And this is the part where the story gets really, really good. Mike dug deeper, and what he found was the most compelling evidence he could ask for. He looked at the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index. This is a key indicator for any investor. It tells you if a coin is overbought or oversold. For a long time, HBAR's RSI had been in a tight range, just like it was back in the summer. But then, on September 7th, he saw it. The RSI started to break over its moving average. This might sound like a minor detail, but it was a major signal. The last time this happened was back in June, and do you remember what came after that? A massive pump that took HBAR from 12.5 cents all the way to almost 31.5 cents. That wasn't an accident. That was the momentum building up and finally being unleashed. But the real kicker this time, it wasn't just the RSI. The MACD, or Moving Average Convergence Divergence, was also about to cross into bullish territory. When these two major indicators give the green light at the same time, it's like a starting gun for a race. It's a technical pattern that screams buy signal. Mike had seen this before. He knew what it meant, and he knew that if the chart was screaming breakout, there had to be something happening in the real world to back it up. So what's the real world consequence? The new problem for Mike was, why now? Why is this all happening at the same time? He needed an answer and he found it. The second clue was a monumental announcement that had just dropped. ARK Exchange launched pool tokens on Hedera, marking a major milestone in the tokenization of financial markets. Mike saw the headlines and felt his jaw drop. You see, this wasn't just some small project. This was a direct partnership with some of the biggest names in the global financial system. The first pool token, this is basically a digital fund of funds, holds equal parts of money market funds from BlackRock, State Street, Aberdeen, and Legal & General. Let that sink in for a minute. We're not talking about small-time players. We're talking about the titans of Wall Street. BlackRock alone manages over $10 trillion, 0 cents in assets. The fact that they're now putting their funds into a token on the Hedera network is a sign that the future we've all been waiting for is no longer a promise. It's a reality. This is exactly what we mean when we talk about HBAR network price prediction being tied to institutional adoption. This isn't just a rumor or a proposal. It's a live, working use case. Why do these pool tokens matter so much? Because they eliminate all the old, inefficient problems of traditional finance. Think about this. Traditional funds are slow. They're bound by paper prospectuses and a million intermediaries. Pool tokens allow for instant fund creation, instant transfers, and composability. You can now create a diverse portfolio of assets in a single transferable token. This is a game changer. It's like going from sending a letter through the mail to sending an email. It's a quantum leap in efficiency and flexibility. This is the new problem that HBAR is solving, the slowness and friction of the legacy financial system. This is the second clue. The technicals are screaming for a breakout, and the fundamentals are now backing it up with a partnership that every major financial institution in the world will be watching. And this is just the beginning, I promise you. What's coming next is an even bigger, more jaw-dropping reveal that will help you understand just how big this opportunity is. Don't go anywhere, you're just getting started. If you're as excited as I am about this, let me know in the comments below. Type RCAX if you think this is a huge deal. Mike was on fire now. He couldn't believe it. He felt that rush of validation that only an investor can feel when their thesis is proven right. He was no longer a lone voice screaming into the void. The world's largest asset managers were coming to Hedera. The fear of being crushed by another bear market was starting to fade. But a new question popped into his head. This is all great, but what does it mean for us? Is this just a small one-off deal in the UK? What's the real consequence for the global market? He needed to understand the scale of what was happening. And that's where the third clue comes in. It connects everything we've been talking about, and it proves that this isn't just some isolated event. It's part of a much, much bigger plan. Remember a few months ago, we talked about Lloyd's Banking Group and their groundbreaking collaboration with Aberdeen and Arcax? We discussed how they successfully used tokenized real-world assets, RWAs, on Hedera as collateral for foreign exchange trades. I remember talking about how the UK's FX market alone is a monstrous $5.4 trillion, 0 cents daily market. At the time, it was a massive announcement. It was a proof of concept that showed regulated digital assets could be used in high-volume real-world trading, but it was just a pilot. Now, with the Arcax pool token announcement, it's clear what was really happening. That pilot was just the first step. They proved the technology worked, and now they're scaling up. This is the progression we've been waiting for. You can't just jump straight into a quadrillion-dollar market. You have to start small, prove the utility, and then expand. And that's exactly what they're doing. This is the strategic long game that companies like Hedera are playing, a game that's completely different from the short-term hype we see everywhere else. So Mike's question about the UK is a valid one, and the answer is that the UK is simply the starting point for a global movement. You see, what Arcax, BlackRock, Hedera are doing is building a blueprint, a digital playbook for how to bring any financial asset on chain, from money market funds to ETFs to commodities and structured products. This is what the HBAR Price Prediction 2025 is truly based on. Not just technical charts, but on the real world value of a network that can handle this kind of institutional traffic. But here's the most exciting, almost unbelievable part, the thing that will make you feel like you just found the secret treasure map. This isn't just about billions or even trillions. I found an old clip from an interview with Greg Bell from the Hedera Foundation. I have it right here. He's being asked about the total addressable market for tokenization, and you can see his face light up as he answers. He says, and I quote, "In our analysis of global financial markets, we think the opportunity is $1.7 quadrillion. Let's pause on that for a second. $1.7 quadrillion. That's not a typo. That's $1,700 trillion. It's a number that's so big, it's hard to even wrap your head around. It's more money than has ever existed in the history of the world combined. And according to Greg, all of it will be tokenized because it's a more efficient way to handle financial instruments. It just makes sense. This is the big promise I wanted to show you. This is why you're here. When we talk about Hedera Hashgraph price prediction and the possibility of a price pump, we're not just talking about a 2x or 5x. We're talking about a market with so much potential value that even a tiny fraction of it is enough to make an early investor a fortune. Imagine if just 1% of that quadrillion dollars, just 1%, moves on-chain. That's still a $17 trillion 0 cents market. We are so early. The total crypto market cap is only about $2 trillion, 0 cents. This is an entire financial universe waiting to be born. This is the kind of stuff that will make you feel absolutely sick to your stomach if you miss it, but you haven't. You're here. You're learning, and you're now one of the few who understands the real reason why HBAR is such a sleeping giant. The dreadful feeling of missing out is now replaced with the curious excitement of what's next. What do you think about that 1.7 quadrillion number? Does it blow your mind as much as it does mine? Let me know in the comments below, and get ready, because in the final segment, I'm going to show you the final piece of the puzzle and exactly how to position yourself for the biggest payoff of your life. The Mike is now fully invested, not just with his money, but with his emotions. He's excited. The doubt is gone, but a new problem emerges. A problem I know a lot of you are probably feeling right now. What if I missed it? Is it too late to get in? Am I too late for the HBAR price pump? It's a valid fear. We've all been there. You see a project making moves and you worry that the train has already left the station. But here's the most important lesson, and it's the big payoff I promised you. You are not too late. In fact, you are still incredibly early. I'm going to prove it to you right now. Remember how we talked about that 1.7 quadrillion opportunity? That's the total addressable market. But where are we right now? We are still so far away from that. The crypto market is still largely a retail-driven space. The price of HBAR is still well under its all-time highs from 2021, and while a lot of other projects have stagnated, Hedera has been working in the shadows, building the foundations for a completely new financial system. Let me show you a graphic that perfectly explains what's happening. This is the Archex ecosystem chart, and it's basically a digital blueprint for the future of finance. Look at all the different asset classes they have listed: crypto, digital and traditional securities, NFTs, tokenized funds, crypto ETFs, even e-money and derivatives. All of this is tied back to the major players in traditional finance, investment banks, asset managers, hedge funds, family offices, and sophisticated investors. This isn't just a small side project. This is a comprehensive plan to bring the entire global financial system onto the blockchain. And this is what you need to understand. The small price movements we see today on the HBAR chart are just a tiny reflection of the massive value being built behind the scenes. It's like a brand new skyscraper. For the first year, all you see is a hole in the ground and a concrete foundation being poured. You look at it and you think, is this ever going to be a skyscraper? But you're missing the point. The most important, most expensive part is happening underground, out of sight. That foundation is what makes the impossible possible. That foundation is what supports the entire building, and that foundation is what Hedera has been building for years. We are witnessing a massive shift right now. It's a time where the adoption of projects like Hedera is ramping up and the announcements are getting bigger and more consistent. As the original video said, we have witnessed more announcements around Hedera and tokenization in the last 9 months of 2025 than in the last 4 years combined. This is a clear sign that the foundation is ready and the skyscraper is about to go up fast. So when you think about that little HBAR price right now, don't think about it in isolation. Think about it in the context of a 1.7 quadrillion opportunity. Think about it in the context of BlackRock moving money onto the network. Think about it in the context of a team that is focused on enterprise-grade solutions and not on short-term hype. You are a part of a community that understands this. You are an early adopter. And while others will watch from the sidelines and wonder how they missed out, you will have been a part of this journey from the very beginning. You are not crushed. You are about to be shocked by what comes next. And that's the ultimate payoff. It's not just about the money you stand to gain, although that's a huge benefit. It's about the confidence and the knowledge you have. It's about being on the right side of history, watching a revolution unfold and knowing that you were smart enough and brave enough to be a part of it. So, what are you going to do now? Are you going to continue watching, or are you going to take action? I want to know where you stand. Are you a long-term HBAR believer, a hodl for life, or are you a short-term trader? Let me know by typing hodl or trade in the comments. And if you're ready to stay ahead of the game and never feel like you're going to be fudded again, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss our next video. We're going to keep digging for these truths because in this market, knowledge is everything. I hope this video gave you the clarity and confidence you've been looking for. This has been a conversation I've been waiting to have with you for a long time. The future is here. It's just not evenly distributed yet. But with HBAR, we're all about to get a piece of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.